Welcome to today's Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to be your guide for this deep dive. We are looking at a fascinating transformation happening right now in the world of electric vehicles. If you've been following EV infrastructure, you know we've been in this massive rapid-fire building phase. But today, we're going to demystify what industry experts are now calling Charging 2.0. This is the exciting phase where the ecosystem really matures, where we start solving the critical gaps in the grid, and where some incredibly innovative tech steps in to save the day. Here's the roadmap for today. First, we'll cover the state of the EV grid. Second, shifting policies and investments. Third, the mobile charging shift. And finally, robots and the future. Let's get right into it. Section 1. The state of the EV grid. Growth and demand. Okay, so to really appreciate where this tech is heading, we first need to grasp the sheer scale of the current landscape. The magic number to focus on here is 806. In just the second quarter of 2026 alone, operators brought 806 brand new public fast charging stations online across the United States. We're talking over 4,300 individual ports. This is a massive foundation of growth spreading from coast to coast, primarily targeting high-traffic urban corridors. We are seeing a very strong, steady build-out that's working hard to keep pace with all the new EVs hitting the road. Now, this next part is actually super interesting because we're seeing a real shift in the balance of power. Historically, Tesla has completely owned the infrastructure narrative. But for new ports added in Q2 2026, totally different story. For the absolute first time, Tesla's market share of new capacity dropped below 50%, down to just 27%, actually. The rest of the market is, frankly, aggressively expanding. You've got players like Walmart, ChargePoint, and Ready really stepping up to the plate, ensuring that the growth of the grid is broadly distributed across multiple major networks. And that brings us to the actual plug itself. I know we've all heard a ton about NACS. That's the North American Charging Standard, the Tesla-designed plug that most automakers have agreed to adopt. And yeah, it is growing super fast in new builds, grabbing almost 23% of recent non-Tesla installations. But here's the reality check. The total installed base out there right now is still overwhelmingly dominated by CCS at nearly 75%. So, mixed connectors and adapters, yeah, that is just going to be our reality for the foreseeable future. Let's talk economics for a second, because there is a crazy contrast in what it actually costs to juice up depending on where you are. The nationwide average? Roughly 54 cents per kilowatt hour. But check this out. If you're in Hawaii, which is a super constrained market with high electricity costs, you are paying nearly 86 cents. Contrast that with the plain states like Nebraska and Iowa, where it's sitting way down in the low 40-cent range. Basically, your zip code heavily dictates your charging economics. But despite those wildly varying prices, demand is literally roaring. We are currently seeing over 16 million fast charging sessions every single month. 16 million. And because demand is surging right alongside this new capacity, national utilization is actually holding incredibly steady at around 15.8%. People are literally filling up these new stations exactly as fast as they can be built. Moving on to Section 2, shifting policies and investments, the rules of the road. With all those millions of sessions happening, government policy is really acting as the invisible hand guiding this whole ecosystem. And we just saw a huge shift at the federal level regarding how these chargers are built. The Trump administration, via Transportation Secretary Sean P. Duffy, just updated the Buy America requirements for federally funded EV chargers. The old rule, 55% domestic content. The new mandate, 100% domestic content for these chargers. The stated goal here is to strictly enforce domestic manufacturing, generate American jobs, and tackle potential cybersecurity vulnerabilities from foreign-made components. It's a massive regulatory pivot, and it is absolutely going to reshape the supply chain. Meanwhile, down at the state level, targeted investments are really what's pushing this vital tech out of the pilot phase and into commercial reality. A huge standout from the Massachusetts Clean Energy Center's $3.9 million critical mass program is SparkCharge. They secured $1 million to deploy their off-grid mobile fast charging hubs. What's especially cool about this is their focus. They're deploying these at high-traffic retail sites, specifically in environmental justice communities, making sure there's equitable access to this critical infrastructure. All right, Section 3, the mobile charging shift, bypassing the grid. So here is the crucial point. Between that massive consumer demand and these tightening supply chains, building traditional infrastructure just isn't fast enough anymore. Think about it. Building a traditional stationary charger is incredibly slow and wildly expensive. You're fighting with utility interconnections, permitting, digging up concrete, the whole shebang. That process can drag on for 6 to 18 months and cost upwards of $150,000 per station. But contrast that with mobile hubs. We're talking instant plug-and-play relief. They can literally be operational within hours of being delivered, with zero trenching required. Let's see how a company like Exos is attacking this. They just expanded their mobile hub lineup into 3 distinct modular capacities fit for any fleet. You start at the 210 kilowatt-hour level, perfect for light-duty vans, priced at $158,000. Need a bit more juice? Step it up to the 420 kilowatt-hour hub, which can charge 15 to 20 commercial vehicles and is still light enough to tow behind a standard pickup truck. And for the heavy-duty folks, there's the massive 630 kilowatt-hour option. The really brilliant part? Fleets can daisy-chain up to 10 of these units together to build a multi-megawatt charging site off just one single grid connection. It's like building blocks for grid power. It really is all about flexibility. Like Stephen Kelly, the CEO of L-Charge, points out, operational demands are evolving super rapidly, and L-Charge is actually taking this straight to the public sector. They're leveraging a cooperative purchasing contract through EV Choice to offer 60 kilowatt mobile charging and roadside assistance vehicles directly to municipalities and fleet operators. So instead of towing a stranded EV, they are literally just bringing the fast charger directly to the vehicle. It eliminates tow trucks completely and keeps fleets on the move. Which brings us to Section 4, Robots and the Future, Charging 2.0. Okay, we've zoomed way in from the national grid stats all the way down to the parking lot level. And this sets up what I think is, hands down, the most futuristic and fun piece of the charging puzzle. I want you to really stop and think about this question. What if the charger came to you? Just imagine never again having to endlessly circle a crowded parking garage, desperately looking for that one single dedicated EV spot that actually has a working charger. It totally reframes how we think about parking. Well, the answer to that question is Ziggy. This was developed by EV Safe Charge, and Ziggy is a self-propelled EV charging robot. Basically, you reserve your parking spot through an app, and Ziggy literally rolls over and physically holds the spot for you. When you pull up, you plug in, and Ziggy charges your car. The real beauty here is it requires absolutely zero dedicated EV spots. For the property owner, that means no pouring new concrete, no massive electrical trenching. Oh, and get this, Ziggy actually has large screens on its sides to display advertising, meaning it generates brand new revenue streams while it works. What Ziggy represents is a fascinating new business model, EV charging as a service. Think about it. Instead of property owners tearing up their expensive lots to meet new municipal EV mandates, they just deploy a fleet of Ziggies. It takes this logistical, insanely expensive headache and completely flips it into a profitable, on-demand amenity. And it serves every single parking space in the facility, not just a select few in the back corner. And that really leaves us with this final thought. We've seen a massive 806 stations surge in just one single quarter. We've seen federal policy strictly pulling manufacturing back home and state grants funding these incredible mobile hubs. We're looking at 630 kilowatt mobile battery banks and now app-hailed robotic chargers literally holding our parking spots. This ecosystem isn't just growing anymore, it is fundamentally adapting. So as infrastructure goes completely mobile and robots literally take the wheel in our parking lots, will the traditional fixed gas stations soon become a relic of the past? It is an absolutely incredible time for innovation right now, and I really hope this explainer helped illuminate the path ahead for you. Thanks so much for joining me, and keep learning.